Hello, and a very warm welcome to you. It's so lovely to have you here today. Now, I want you to think for a moment. Have you ever been on a video call with your grandchild and they suddenly erupt into laughter at something on their screen and you're just not quite sure why? Or maybe you've tried to make conversation and been met with a one-word answer or a phrase that sounds like it's from a different planet entirely. If you've ever nodded along to that, if you've ever felt a little pang of distance, that subtle whisper that the world they're growing up in is so different from the one you knew, well, you are most certainly not alone. It's August 27th, 2025, and grandparenting isn't what it used to be. But here's the beautiful, wonderful secret. That's not a bad thing. In fact, it's an incredible opportunity. This isn't about losing the cherished traditions of the past. It's about building magnificent new ones. This video is all about grandparenting in 2025, connecting across generations. It's about finding those heartwarming ways to not just keep up, but to truly connect and build those incredible, unshakable bonds in this modern world. You see, the goal hasn't changed. It's still about love, guidance, and being that safe harbor for them. But the map we use to get there, well, it's gotten a few new roads. And today, we're going to explore the first few of those roads together. We'll start by talking about the single biggest hurdle we often face, and it's not what you might think. Then, we'll move on to a wonderfully simple way to step into their world without feeling overwhelmed. So, let's get started. Let's be honest, the most common advice we hear is, just learn technology, get on TikTok, figure out the Instagram. And while that's part of it, I believe we're focusing on the wrong thing first. The real gap isn't a technology gap, it's a connection gap, it's a language gap. They're speaking the language of their experiences, their memes, their viral videos, and we're trying to translate it through the dictionary of our experiences. It can feel frustrating for us, and sometimes, though they'd never say it, it can be a little frustrating for them too when they feel we just don't get it. But what if we shifted our approach? What if instead of seeing this new world as a barrier, we saw it as the most fascinating window into who our grandchildren are becoming? The key isn't to become a tech whiz overnight. The key is to become a student. And the best teacher is sitting right there in your family. So, let's talk about our first step, embracing a role of curious humility. This means giving ourselves permission to not know. It means being willing to ask, can you show me how that works? Or, what does that word mean? Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but won't that make me look foolish? Won't I lose their respect? From my own experience and from talking to so many others, the absolute opposite is true. When you ask your grandchild to teach you something, you are giving them a tremendous gift. You are telling them, your world matters to me because you matter to me. You are valuing their expertise. You are flipping the script from a potential power struggle into a beautiful collaboration. I remember the first time I asked my granddaughter to help me set up a video filter that made it look like I had cartoon dog ears. We laughed until we cried. She felt proud and capable, and I got a wonderful, silly memory. I didn't master the entire app. I mastered one tiny, joyful part of it with her. That's the goal. It's not about the technology itself. It's about the shared experience it creates. And that leads us so naturally into our next point, finding common ground in new activities. We often think of connection as sitting and talking, but for many kids and teenagers, connection happens while doing something. Side-by-side interaction can feel much less pressured than face-to-face interrogation. So, what does that look like in 2025? Well, it could be playing a video game together. Now, before you dismiss that, hear me out. You don't need to be an expert gamer. There are wonderful, simple games on phones and tablets that are like digital board games. You can be on a team together. You can play a word game, a puzzle game, or even a silly racing game. The game itself is just the vehicle. The conversation and the laughter that happen during it are the real treasure. It's the digital equivalent of teaching them to fish or build a birdhouse. You're just sharing a different kind of space. It could be asking them to be the curator of your new streaming subscription. Ask them to pick a movie or a show they think you'd like, and then watch it together, either in the same room or using a watch party feature online. Afterwards, you can talk about it. What did you like about that character? Why did you choose this for us? You're not just consuming content, you're engaging with their taste and their perspective. You're building a shared culture. These activities, these little moments of shared focus, are the building blocks. They build a foundation of comfort and fun, and from that foundation, the deeper conversations about life, school, and their dreams will naturally begin to grow. It's about showing up with an open heart and a willingness to be a beginner again, and that is a powerful and beautiful thing to model for a young person. Now that we've started this journey by embracing curiosity and finding new ways to play together, there's so much more to explore about how we communicate and the unique strengths we bring to the table as grandparents in this new age. But that's a conversation we'll continue very soon. In the meantime, I'd love to hear from you. What's one new thing your grandchild has introduced you to? Was it a game, a slang word, a song? Please share your stories in the comments below. Let's learn from each other. If this resonated with you, if it felt helpful or even just a little bit reassuring, please do give this video a thumbs up. It truly helps others find our community here. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell so you don't miss the next part of our conversation. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Remember, the greatest tool for connection isn't the newest smartphone, it's your open heart. Stay blessed. You know, after we chatted last time, I was thinking about my own grandfather. He was a man of few words, but I always knew he loved me. His way of connecting was through quiet presence, sitting on the porch together, working on a woodworking project in the garage, a hand on my shoulder. That presence was his language of love, and it's a language that will never, ever go out of style. But in 2025, our grandchildren are fluent in many more languages. They communicate with emojis, voice notes, and video clips. And the beautiful challenge and opportunity for us is to become multilingual in the languages of love. We started by talking about becoming curious students and finding joy in new shared activities. Those are the doors we open to their world. But what do we do once we're inside? How do we make sure the connection goes deeper than just knowing the latest dance trend? That's what I'd love to explore with you today. Because grandparenting in 2025, connecting across generations, is about blending that timeless, steady presence with new ways to say, I see you, I hear you, and I am here for you. It begins with rethinking how we communicate between visits. The days of waiting for a handwritten letter or a weekly phone call are, for the most part, behind us. And that's okay, because what we have now is something rather magical. The ability to be a part of their daily lives, even from miles away. But the trick is to do it in a way that feels like a gentle tap on the shoulder, not a constant knock on the door. So let's talk about the power of the low-stakes message. This is something short, visual, and without pressure. It's sending a funny meme that reminded you of them. You can just say, "This made me think of you," and send it. It's taking a picture of a bird in your bird feeder and texting it with the message, "My little visitor today made me miss my other little visitor." It's sending a heart emoji just to say you're thinking of them. This isn't about having a long, drawn-out conversation every time. It's about creating a steady, gentle stream of connection that says, "You are on my mind," without demanding anything back. It makes you a familiar, comforting presence in their digital world, which is just as real to them as the physical one. And for those times when you do want to have a more substantial conversation, the old rules of questioning don't always work. "How was school?" often gets a "fine." "What did you do today?" gets a nothing. It's not that they're being difficult, it's that the question is too broad and feels like an obligation. Instead, we can get creative. We can ask about their world in a way that invites a story. Try things like, "What was the funniest thing that happened today?" Or, "Tell me about the best part of your week." Even better, tap into their interests. If you could add any character to that game you play, who would it be and why? Or, "I saw a trailer for a new movie that made me think of you. Are you excited for it?" These questions show you're paying attention to who they are, not just what they're doing. But here's the most important part, the part where our role as grandparents becomes truly irreplaceable. We must become the keepers of the uninterrupted space. In a world that is constantly pinging, buzzing, and demanding their attention, we can offer the opposite. When they are with us, we can practice true presence. This means putting our own phones away, making eye contact, and listening, not to respond, but to understand. It means creating moments of quiet where they feel safe enough to share what's really on their mind. Maybe it's during a walk, or while baking together, or just sitting in the garden. We become the sanctuary from the noise. They might not always have something big to say, but they will remember the feeling of being truly heard and valued in a world of endless distractions. This is our superpower. While the world tries to grab their attention in loud and flashy ways, we offer the quiet, steady glow of unconditional love and interest. We are the safe landing pad for when their digital lives get overwhelming. This doesn't require you to understand every aspect of that digital life. It just requires you to recognize that it can be exhausting for them and to offer a soft place to land. We've covered so much ground already, from starting as a curious student to communicating in their language to providing that essential quiet space. But there's one more beautiful layer to all of this, the unique stories and wisdom we carry. In our final part, we'll talk about how to share the past in a way that feels vibrant and relevant to their future, and how to build a legacy of connection that truly lasts a lifetime. But before we get there, I'd love to know, what's your favorite way to stay in touch with your grandkids between visits? Have you discovered a fun new app or a clever way to ask about their day? Please share your wisdom in the comments below. Your idea might be the perfect inspiration for another grandparent trying to find their way. If you're finding this series helpful, please give this video a like. It helps us reach more wonderful grandparents like you. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that final part. Thank you for your generosity in sharing this time with me. Remember, in a world of constant connection, the greatest gift you can give is your patient, undistracted attention. Stay blessed.
It's interesting, isn't it? Holding something like this. These photographs, these letters, they're more than just paper and ink. They are doorways. They're whispers from a time that shaped us, stories waiting to be told. And for so long, I think we've believed that our most important job as grandparents was to be the guardians of these doorways, to protect these stories. But what if, in 2025, our job is even more beautiful? What if our role isn't just to be the guardian of the door, but to be the one who holds it wide open and warmly invites our grandchildren to step through and explore with us? We've talked about stepping into their world with curiosity and offering them a quiet space in our own. We've become multilingual in the languages of love. But this final piece, this is about the unique gift that only we can give. It's about weaving the threads of our past into the vibrant tapestry of their present, not as a history lesson, but as a living, breathing gift of identity and resilience. This is the heart of grandparenting in 2025, connecting across generations. Because let's be honest, the phrase, "when I was your age," often earns a subtle, internal eye roll. Not because they don't care, but because it can feel like a comparison or a lecture from a world that seems impossibly distant from their own. The magic happens when we stop telling them how it was and start showing them how it relates. It's about connection, not correction. So, how do we do that? We become storytellers, but not just any storytellers. We become relevance makers. It's not about telling them you walked 5 miles to school in the snow. It's about sharing the feeling from that story. You know, when I had to walk to school in the deep snow, I remember feeling so determined and also a little bit adventurous. It makes me think of how you must have felt when you finally beat that really hard level in your game after trying for so long. You see the difference? You're not comparing hardships. You're connecting emotions. You're taking a memory and using it as a bridge to understand their experience. You're saying, I understand this feeling, and I see it in you. And this is where that old photo album becomes a treasure map. Don't just show them a picture of you at their age and say, this was me. Pull out a picture of yourself at 16, looking nervous before a school dance, and say, look at me. I was so nervous to ask someone to the dance. I feel like I see that same nervous excitement on your face sometimes when you're getting ready for a big test. How do you handle those butterflies? Suddenly, this sepia-toned photo isn't a relic, it's a mirror. It's a conversation starter about shared human experiences across time. Our stories are the antidote to the perfection they see online. Their world is often a highlight reel of filtered, curated moments. We can show them the beautiful, unedited behind the scenes of a life. We can tell them about our first big failure, the job we didn't get, the time we embarrassed ourselves terribly and somehow lived to tell the tale. We normalize struggle and resilience. We show them that a life well lived isn't a straight line upwards. It's a rich tapestry with knots and loose threads and beautiful patterns all woven together. In a world that often tells them to be perfect, we can give them the incredible gift of saying, it's okay to be imperfect. Look at me. I turned out just fine. And this, my friends, is how we build a legacy that isn't stored in an attic, but lived in their hearts. It's not about leaving them a list of facts and dates. It's about leaving them with a sense of belonging, a knowledge that they are part of a longer, ongoing story that is full of strength, love, and humor. It's about showing them that while the tools change, from a rotary phone to a smartwatch, the human heart doesn't. The need for love, for understanding, for a safe place to fall, that is eternal. Grandparenting in 2025 is the most beautiful blend of the timeless and the new. It's holding their hand while they show you how to use a new app. It's sharing a story from your past while you help them navigate a problem in their future. It's being their soft place to land and their biggest cheerleader all at once. You have a wealth of experience and a heart full of love. That is your greatest strength. You don't need to be perfect at technology. You just need to be present. You don't need to know every trend. You just need to know them. Keep showing up. Keep asking questions. Keep sharing your stories. You are building bonds that will support them long after you're gone. You're giving them the roots of knowing where they come from and the wings to fly into their own future. Thank you for joining me for this entire series. I hope it's given you some reassurance, some practical ideas, and perhaps a new way to see the wonderful, important role you play. If it has, please let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if you know another grandparent who might appreciate this conversation, please share this video with them. Let's build a community of connection. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more conversations like this one. It truly helps us grow. From my heart to yours, thank you. Here's to building unforgettable bonds. Stay blessed, everyone, and I'll see you next video.